and welcome to everybody joining in on Facebook Live. So we're here for Power Watts home workout number 27, and our workout today is called the Crusher. And so in today's workout, we're going to be working on two different skills. One of them is going to be acceleration, deceleration, and the other skill is going to be to try to combine several elements that we've been working at over the course of the last couple weeks into one single drill. And the drill will kind of make you feel like you're doing a stage race almost at Power Watts with the way that it's structured. So we're going to be starting in about 25 seconds. So those of you guys that are going to be using your trainers at home, make sure that you try to sync the startup of your workout in about 15 seconds. And we got a bunch of riders on the app. J-Train, I can't see your watts for some reason on the app. Do you see it on your screen? Do you see it, J-Train?
Yeah.
Okay, I see it now. Okay, so we're good. All right, guys. So we are underway with Power Watts home workout number 27, the Crusher. So glad to have all of you joining on Facebook Live. Very excited to have all of you guys joining via the Power Watts at home app. And we're in for a good workout today, guys. So it's a bit of a cloudy, rainy day outside here in Montreal. So it's a great opportunity to come ride in our Power Watts at home workout and really get in a solid session. So right now we're just warming up. First 5 minutes is at around 50% watts. And then we're going to slowly escalate up the watts during the warm-up. There's two parts to the warm-up, which we've been doing more often, especially with the more intense sessions that we've been doing of late. It's a good idea to have two parts to the warm-up, a general warm-up and a specific warm-up. So our general warm-up is 5 minutes at 50%, 4 minutes at 60%, 2 minutes at 75%, and then 1 minute at 90%. So that's just to kind of build you guys up to around that, say, that threshold power zone, 90, 95%. Then we take a little break, and then we're going to do 3 surges that get progressively longer. So we're going to do 30 seconds, then 45 seconds, and then 1 minute, all at 120%. So that last minute at 120%, especially if you're a bit slow to warm up, is going to be quite challenging, but it's exactly what your body needs to really activate itself, get those fast twitch muscle fibers engaged, get that blood flow circulating to get you guys prepared for the first exercise of the day, which many of you might find the most challenging. So keep that in mind. If you find the 1 minute at 120% at the end of the warm-up challenging, think of it as a good sign. Then during the recovery period before our first drill, your body's going to do something called super compensation. It's going to mobilize energy, mobilize resources to perform well in our first drill. Our first drill is 5 times 15-second accelerations with 15-second recoveries. We put some power targets on screen. The power targets are going to be 125, 130, 135, 140, 145, 150. So we're going to start off. So sorry, I said there's 5. There's actually 6. So there's 6 of them. So we're going to start at 125, and we're going to move all our way up to 150%. Now, those are the targets that are shown, but you could do this. If we were to do this in studio, we would have done it more as a self-paced exercise with the idea if you want to do 5 15-second accelerations, and each successive acceleration, you just want it to be 5 or 10% higher. So you might choose to start out at the 130, 125% that's indicated, or if 15-second accelerations are a strong point for you, right away you could start out at a higher power and then try to escalate up a little bit more on each subsequent one. An important part of that exercise that I'll remind you guys about during the rest period just before we start it is during the 15-second recoveries, I really want you guys to slow down a lot, because that's going to make the demand of the acceleration a little bit harder. So as opposed to accelerating up and then riding, say, at 50 or 70 or 90% in between and then accelerating again, we want to play with the extremes on this exercise. So you accelerate, you get to that power target, and then you really back it off. And really back it off, you might stop pedaling for 4 or 5 seconds and then ride at like 30%. And that way, when you have to accelerate, you got to put a little bit more oomph into that acceleration. So that way we're really working the acceleration part of the pedaling technique there. So that's going to be our first drill. Then we're going to repeat the same exercise again at the end. And in the middle, we have a drill where we're going to have 3-minute efforts at 100%, where part of it's going to be at high cadence, part of it's going to be at low cadence. What we want you guys to imagine during an exercise like that is that at the low cadence, you imagine like it's a King of the Mountain segment at Power Watts, and during the high cadence segments, you imagine like it's a King of the Downhill segment at Power Watts. So I'll remind you guys of that when we get there, but you just want to imagine as if those 3-minute efforts were back-to-back King of the Mountain, King of the Downhill segments. We also have surges to 150%, and those surges are going to be progressively longer. So 20 seconds, then 30 seconds, and then 40 seconds. And the other piece that we have in the middle to tie all that stuff together is we have 1 minute 15-second efforts at 80% and at 85%, and 85 RPM. Okay, so let's go to 60%. So the idea of the 85%, 85 RPM, we want you guys to treat it like target segments at Power Watts, where you try to get bang on the 85%, bang on the 85 RPM to really challenge your focus despite any accumulation of fatigue that you might have there. So that's what we're doing overall, so you can think to yourself, okay, we got quick accelerations at the beginning, quick accelerations at the end, and then in the middle we have a drill that ties together threshold development, aerobic development with that skill element of trying to get to exactly 85 RPM, and quick anaerobic surges of either 20 seconds, 30 seconds, or 40 seconds. So we got a good mix of stuff. So now we're at 60% watts, and for the rest of the warm-up, we're going to do 60%, then 75, and then 90. So JF, how are you doing today?
Okay.
Is Brenda joining us?
No, she's having a break day today.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad that you're here. I hope you're motivated to work just as hard, even though Brenda's not beside you, because I
have nobody to follow.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure you draw lots of inspiration from her riding, so
Absolutely.
I'm going to have to keep a closer eye on you today then, JF.
Yeah.
Did you go for a run this morning?
No.
Okay, first workout of the day. Excellent.
I did a good 2-hour bike ride yesterday, so we'll see if I still have that in the legs.
I think it'll probably be okay. It just might be a bit slower than normal to warm up, which is already a bit lengthy for you, so just keep that in mind. And Sting, how are you doing today?
Good, except for I forgot my helmet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where's your helmet? Where's your elbow pads? Those you guys, no one else got to see it except for me, but at the end of the last workout, when Sting was really putting the hammer down, she just fell to the ground off of her bike. Her whole trainer, it all went down. So let's hope that doesn't happen again today, Sting. Did you put some weights on your trainer or something like that?
No, I didn't, but I should have. I'm pretty strong on this thing.
Yeah, you got lots of strength from the weight training you were telling me you're doing. Obviously, it's paid off, all that running. So you're a powerhouse now, Sting. You're going to have to fasten your bike down. Yeah. Awesome.
Not so much.
So thanks so much for everybody again for joining in. So Mean Gene, you just woke up. How you feeling so far?
Super fantastic.
Yeah? How's the knee situation?
I don't know.
So it's not getting any worse, but maybe not getting that
better. No, it's not getting any worse.
Okay.
No, it's getting better.
So it is getting a bit better?
Yeah, it's not the best yet, but certainly it's getting better.
Okay, good. I'm glad it's moving in the right direction.
I'm pampering it.
Ah, perfect. And J-Train, how's your knee situation today? Big Nick, could you unmute it?
Good today, thanks.
Good today? So yesterday you had a little bit of pain, but today it's back to normal?
Well, no, it's good. It's not back to normal.
So better than the normal constant discomfort, I guess.
There we go.
Fantastic. I'm glad to hear. And Big Nick, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Mark. All good.
All good? So Big Nick is ultra motivated today because Baby Bell said his name very clearly in our before we started the ride here. Baby Bell was down here and she said, Big Nick. All right, so let's go to 75%, guys. So 2 minutes at 75%. So JF, think about going to maybe a 6 out of 10 effort right now. And Trophy Wife, how are you doing today?
I just woke up, though.
You just woke up? You and Mean Gene together, I guess, just woke up, saving energy for the bike ride. And I'm glad that you're connected. I could see your name on there today instead of Samtastic's name, so everything's set up on your computer, so you'll be able to just easily reuse it again in the future.
Perfect, yeah. Better.
Amazing. And Miss Piggy and the Professor, how are you two today?
Good, thank you.
Thank you, Mark. You too. So it's perfect day to do the workout here inside.
Absolutely. And I'm really glad to have both you guys back in here this morning. All right, so we got 1 more minute here at 75%. And then we're going to do 1 minute at 90%. So when we go to the 90%, you can hold the 90% steady. What I'd encourage you guys to do, it's not programmed into the workout, but something that might help prepare you for the specific warm-up is go to that 90%, but do it at a slightly higher than normal RPM. So that way you're engaging a little bit more the faster pedaling skills that might be helpful when we go up to those 120% segments. Especially those of you guys that are going to be doing the 120% sitting. You could choose to stand up if you want, but those of you that know that you choose to do it sitting, it's a good habit to get into to do those at a slightly higher cadence, especially off the start. And then if it gets difficult, then you always have the option to go a gear or two harder to sustain the power after. So let's go to 90% now. Bring the cadence up a little bit higher than usual. Or if you know that you're going to be doing the 120% that are coming up standing up, you might want to do a bit of a lower cadence just to work a little bit more strength-oriented pedaling. So kind of play around with that along the way. And so JF now maybe a 7.5 out of 10. Work that cadence a little bit higher than usual. Make the cadence to be more the difficulty than the power output. All right, guys. And we got one extra rider joining us today. I could see the power in the gauge now. I think Vulcan is the name, perhaps. So if it's your first time riding Power Watts at home, it's a pleasure to have you. I can't see your video or your mic. You're more than welcome to start up your video or your mic if you want me to be able to see you and give you some cues while you're riding. But thank you so much for joining in. Okay, guys, so a couple more seconds in our general warm-up. All right, and now let's back it off. So we have 1.5 minutes of recovery, and now we've got 3 surges to 120%. We got a 30-second one, a 45-second one, and a 1 minute one, and the recovery periods are 45 seconds after the first one and 1 minute after the second one. So that general warm-up hopefully got everyone sweating a little bit, got a good blood flow to the legs. And now we're going to do a more specific warm-up to prepare you for what's coming up. All right. And so, Miss Piggy, the connection to the app has been okay thus far?
Yeah, it works well. It's just like I'm not, like I told you, I'm not calibrated to like what I'm usually at a car with, but I see numbers, so that's a nice change.
And are you already in like your hardest gear or in a pretty hard gear?
No, I still have gears.
Okay, but now when we get to some of the higher power segments later, you'll probably run out of gears because the bike isn't properly calibrated. So you'll have to practice your higher RPM pedaling today, I guess. But that's always good practice, right, Miss Piggy?
Yes.
All right, guys. So let's go to 120%. So let's start building it up, guys. So build those watts up to 120%. We're gonna hold it steady there for 30 seconds. And JF, just think about maybe an 8.5 out of 10 effort. When we ride at 120%, this is something that you guys can hold continuously for about 5 minutes non-stop. So when we do it for 30 seconds, it doesn't feel too challenging, but of course you got to get a bit more weight, a bit more force into those pedals. Usually 120% starts to get a bit more challenging after about 45 seconds or a minute of doing it continuously. Good, so good work on the power, good work on the cadence, guys. Sting, wow, 110 on the RPM. J-Train over 100 on the RPM. So numbers are looking good across the board. And Trophy Wife, I have your RPM at around 80. Were you pedaling at around 80 RPM?
Were you pedaling at around 80 RPM?
I think so.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to double check that was computing well. So, Trophy Wife, I know it's not your favorite thing, but on the next one, let's see those RPMs a little bit higher, maybe in the neighborhood of 95 or 100 RPM. Miss Piggy, great work. Big Nick, great work at around 90 RPM. Mean Gene, a bit over 90. So that's great. So let's do this second one. Again, let's try to get those RPMs a little bit higher. Wulkan, if that's your name, just accelerate a little bit earlier. So accelerate right away now. Yeah, there you go. Fantastic. And try to get that cadence up a little bit more. I'm guessing, based on the numbers that I'm seeing, we might not have a good cadence sensor connection for you, so I'm not going to pay too much attention to your cadence. But right now, your power is looking good. And just settle that into 120%. So great job. So good work, guys. So we got, and Trophy Wife, great stuff. Over 90 RPM this time. I mean, even over 100 RPM for a bit. And that's good practice. And anybody who's pedaling a little bit faster, you know, try to keep your hips really firm up against that saddle, and it also helps to compact the upper body to pull the elbows in. We're not a crazy high cadence here, but sometimes just that idea of compacting the body will help even at a moderately high cadence. All right, so let's ease it down. We got 1 minute of recovery. So good stuff so far. Another good rep, Big Nick, putting out the big watts at the high cadence, 140%, 115 RPM. Way to be Big Nick. Way to get those high RPM legs working. So our last one, 1 minute at 120%. So keep in mind that this is still part of the warm-up. So definitely, if you feel good, go a little bit over 120%, but don't think of it as an exercise right now. We're still just trying to prime the body. Those of you guys that are feeling really good, keep in mind that the first drill is it could be used as a self-paced drill. So you might go higher than the targets than are programmed into the workout. So I'll remind you guys of that right after this. So let's get ready for 1 minute at 120%. So last one, you know, you can go the high cadence route again. If you want to stand up for a bit, that could be a good idea too. Anything to make sure that you feel like you got all your muscles going. So here we go, 120%. Let's bring those watts up, guys. Very nice, good acceleration. Big Nick standing up. Big Nick over 500 watts. Well done, Big Nick. So at some point, just kind of start to ease it down a little bit. Miss Piggy, good work on the power output. J-Train right in the green, still at around 100 on the RPM. So well done, Miss Piggy, to work slightly lower cadence. Mix those muscles up a bit. We got Mean Gene, high power, high cadence. Trophy Wife, high power, high cadence. Welcome. We got good power output. Just keep building up the power a bit in those last 20 seconds. So nice transition to standing, J-Train. Nice standing position as well. And JF, nice cadence you got going on there. That's a great way to get your legs ready for what we're going to be doing next. So we're almost there, guys. So 3, 2, 1, and let's back it off. So 3 minutes of recovery. So specific warm-up is done. So Miss Piggy, just another question for you. Did that feel harder than usual or easier than usual or about the same?
It's weird. Because the numbers are not right. So I feel like I have to go like maybe like 10% higher than the actual number.
Yeah, so that's why I was asking you. I would definitely suggest that you go higher than the number, and that way you'll make sure that you get the intended training effect. So I could see you're at 135, so that's great. You know, so maybe even 10, 20, maybe even 25% higher, depending on how you feel. Okay, so good stuff, guys. Sting, is everything okay there?
My screen was freezing the dial, so I didn't know where it was at. I'm just gonna see if now it seems to be back.
Okay, perfect. All right, guys, so that was a great warm-up. So just another reminder, oftentimes when we start the workouts with more challenging exercises, we do 2-part warm-up. We do a general warm-up and a specific warm-up. So the specific warm-up today was those 3 efforts at 120%. If you're ever preparing for a ride, or if you're going to challenge yourself, say to your fastest time up a hill, or you want to do like a simulated time trial outside or something like that, I really suggest this style of warm-up, a 2-part warm-up, a general warm-up that you build up to a power that roughly you're going to plan on holding for your effort, or even a little bit lower than it, and then 2 or 3 accelerations, not super short ones, 30 seconds to a minute, at powers that are slightly higher than you plan on holding during your event, and then you take a long recovery period, and that way you've warmed your body up from below the power, you've warmed your body up from above the power, and then that prepares you for your best possible performance on whatever type of event that you're going to be doing. So something to keep in mind. That also applies for running events too. It's a good idea to do a general warm-up, and then you could do some strides, so 30-second efforts, a little bit faster than your intended race pace, and then take a long break and then start your race or your event. That very helpful warm-up protocol. All right, guys, so now we're going to do 6 times 15 seconds with 15 seconds of recovery. The first one, the suggested pace is 125%. Feel free to go a little bit higher than that if you want. The key thing here is every 15-second effort, we want you to increase your power by about 5 to 10%. And during the 15-second recoveries, we want you to bring your power way down. So let's get ready for our first acceleration here, guys. So 3, 2, 1, and let's kick it up to 125% roughly. And you can do it sit, stand, pedal fast, pedal slow, whatever you guys want. And if you end up higher than the target, that's fine, no problem. Okay, so let's back it off. So, and now really back it off. Stop pedaling for a sec, bring that power down to like 30%, 40%. And now you have to exert a little bit more forcefully to accelerate. So let's do the acceleration again. So 3, 2, 1, and here we go again. Accelerate it up. Good. Nice accelerations, guys. Good. Way to be, Wilkin. Nice acceleration. A little bit more juice. A little bit more juice. Sting, that's good. Trophy Wife, that's good. Mean Gene, Miss Piggy, Big Nick, and J Train, well done. Okay, so everybody was able to increase their power a bit. The key effect here is not the exact training target that's prescribed. It's just to be able to increase your power a little bit on each subsequent one. So bring it way down and pop again. So here we go, guys. Quick acceleration. Good. Way to be, Trophy Wife. Put your hands on the hoods, though, if you're standing up, Trophy Wife. Yeah, there you go. When your hands are on the bars like that, you don't have enough stability when you're riding outside. All right, and now let's ease it down. So 15 seconds of recovery. Wow, so we got some pretty good power increases here. And now our next one, the target is 140 or a little bit more. So we got 3 more of these guys. Okay, so quick acceleration up. So here we go. Good. Way to be, JF. Nice acceleration. Nice standing position. Miss Piggy, that's looking good. Way to be, Professor. Big Nick putting out the big watts. Good work, Big Nick. Keep working on increasing that power. Good, so we got a good increase. So J-Train, you went up, so you're at 140. Big Nick, 185, went up by 10% over your previous one. Miss Piggy, you went up. Mean Gene, you went up. Trophy Wife, you went up. Sting, you went up. Wilkin, you went up. Okay, so let's go again now. 145%. Accelerate, quick accelerations. Yeah, there you go, JF. Great work. For the next one, JF, go 1 or 2 gears easier, then accelerate, and then go 1 or 2 gears harder, just to allow for a quicker acceleration. Okay, guys, good work. So now we got one left. So go for a hard effort. We don't want a 10 out of 10 effort. We just want you guys to go a bit higher than you just did, and then we have a 3-minute recovery. Okay, so quick snap, guys. Snap it up and go. Accelerate. So hard, but not maximal effort here. Great, I'm seeing a lot of red on my screen here. Wilkin, keep that up. There you go, you got that average 150%. Fantastic. J-Train, way to be to get to that 150. And let's back it off. And good work, JF. Solid effort. We got Big Nick, so we got some really high numbers. Big Nick, you did 214 on that last one. Miss Piggy, 178. Mean Gene, 166. Trophy Wife, 210. Sting, 172. And we got J-Train and Wilkin, both of you guys at 150 or more. So everybody made it. So I got lots of green and red on my screen. So that makes me happy after a drill like that. So way to be, guys. So Mean Gene, how did you find that exercise?
Great. You can do anything for 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Great.
And did you feel quick and explosive off the acceleration? Excellent.
Like a cheetah.
Like a cheetah. Amazing. And you had good cadence throughout, so it shows you had a good gear for your acceleration. So well done, Mean Gene. Big Nick, you were putting out some seriously high powers there. Could you unmute your screen? Unmute your mic. So how'd you find that, Big Nick?
Good. I kind of went too hard on the second to last one, which made the last one hard, but all good.
Yeah, I see you did. I mean, you did 210 and then 214, so you still managed to do the increase. Well above the target. So great work, Big Nick. J-Train, how difficult was that for you?
Well, that was fun. I just wish I would hit some higher numbers.
Well, I tell you what, J-Train, it's your lucky day. You have another shot at this exact exercise at the end. So you can find a way to get to those higher numbers if you'd like. Okay, guys, so now just a quick reminder of the next drill that's coming up. So this is a long drill. It's a continuous effort with active recovery. So there's no complete recovery anywhere in this exercise. The active recoveries are going to be at 60%. If you look at the workout profile right underneath me or the workout profile on your screen on the app, you can see that those active recoveries, those are at 60%. So the way the drill is going to work, you do a 3-minute effort at 100%. You do 1 minute active recovery. Then you do a surge to 150%. 1 minute active recovery, and then you do 75 seconds at 85%, 85 RPM, and then 1 minute active recovery. And we repeat that process through 3 times. When we do the 3 minutes at 100%, on our first exercise that we're about to do, you want to imagine like the first 2 minutes are a climb, and that the third minute is like a downhill. So the first 2 minutes here, we have a cadence target of 80, but go to 80 or anything less than 80 so that you're working as if you're climbing a hill. And then, when the last minute, we want everyone to bring their RPMs up to 100 or a little bit more as if you had to overspin on a downhill. Okay, so let's go up to 100%. So this is a 3-minute exercise, so we don't need a quick and rapid acceleration. Just build yourself up to 100%. Once you get your power into the green, take a look at the cadence. And then it says 80 as the RPM, but it's really 80 or less. So anybody, if you want to stand up at 60, 65 RPM, or if you want to sit at 70 RPM, absolutely. Go ahead and do that. So we got good numbers. So yeah, Miss Piggy, I could see you're already about 10-15% above. So stick to that, Miss Piggy. Just imagine what 100% feels like in studio, maybe an 8.5 out of 10 effort. So you can anchor on that. Good work, Professor. I could see your leg speed a little bit. Looks like you got a good climbing rhythm going, Professor. Well done. So nobody's too high on the RPM. And we got good work on the power output. So Wilkin, just try to increase the watts a little bit. A little tactic you can use is to lean forward a little bit more and let more of your weight fall into the pedals. So don't hold the handlebars too tight. Just lean forward and let the load go into your legs instead. That gets your body weight into the pedals as well, which is very helpful at low cadence. Good, so way to be, Sting. So glad you started it standing and now working on the sitting power output. Trophy Wife, well done. You've got the lowest RPM here, Trophy Wife, working on the strength. That's great. Okay, so now we got 30 seconds. And good work, JF. Maybe 1 gear harder, JF, for the last 30 seconds here. And now we're going to switch to 100 on the RPM. So what I want everyone to do is stare at your gauge, stare at your power output. We want the power output to stay the same, and you guys are going to have to go 3, 4, maybe even 5 gears easier, or you can go from the big ring into the small ring, and we want to keep that power at 100%, but really spin the legs to do it. So here we go, guys. Last minute of the 3 minutes. So 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Within about 5-6 seconds, you want that cadence to be up. Still trying to hold that steady power output. Wow, Big Nick, great cadence. So Big Nick, you can go a gear harder if you need. Good. Miss Piggy, keep working the cadence. J-Train, maybe, yeah, J-Train, you're in the green. Maybe 1 gear easier if you can. Mean Gene, you're at 100 RPM. That's great. Trophy Wife, I don't know if it's right, but I have you at 82 RPM, so go 1 gear easier if you have to. Sting, that's great. And Wilkin, I don't see your cadence, unfortunately, but way to be on the power, so keep that up. Yeah, there you go, Trophy Wife. Keep that up. And keep that consistent pressure underneath the feet. Think about the pressure underneath the ball of your foot, and you always want to be applying a force to the pedals. All right, so great stuff, guys. Big Nick, way to be. You're used to these high cadence downhills because of the stage race, King of the Downhill. So a couple more seconds, guys, and now it's active recovery at 60%. So this portion, Trophy Wife, might remind you a little bit about our workout on Wednesday, these active recoveries. So do your best on the active recoveries, Trophy Wife. How you doing so far?
Okay, Sam brought up my watts by 17.
By 17. So, so what you might have to do is, like when there's a power target, like at the 150%, you'll be fine. But at the 85% and the 100%, you might have to target a power that's 5% lower than the target so that you don't burn yourself on that piece. Because you definitely have the power to do it for the short explosive ones. It's the longer ones that you might have to go a little bit lower. Okay, guys, so now look at your power, look at your cadence, hold about 60%. Try to get to about 70 RPM or so. That's going to allow for a real quick acceleration on this next one. So it's 20 seconds at 150. Okay, so a quick pop on the acceleration. So 3, 2, 1, and give it a go, guys. Give it a go. You might overshoot to 120 initially, but then settle into 120 the rest of the way. You're going to have an opportunity to go higher than these power targets a bit later. Good. Keep it up, Wilkin. Keep building it up. Sting, a little bit more juice. Good way to be, Trophy Wife. Good, so great efforts across the board. Now back to 60%. So as you ease it down, keep a good amount of pressure underneath the feet and slowly bring it down to 60%. Big Nick, yeah, great technique. And now really bring it back down, Big Nick. Miss Piggy, bring it down a little bit more maybe based on how you feel. Hanging in there, Trophy Wife. So Mean Gene, Sting, that's good. Wilkin, try to bring it up just a bit. Get a little bit more power into the pedals here at the 60%. So now, we've done our threshold piece at 3 minutes at 100%. We've done our surge at 150%. Now this is like a simulated target segment, aerobic development. We're going to do 85%, 85 RPM. Look at your average numbers that you guys see in the app and try to be as close to the average as you can. JF, Professor, just try to get as close to the feeling of 85 RPM that you guys can, and maybe a 7, 7.5 out of 10 effort. So here we go. And so anybody riding on Facebook who's not using the Power Watts app right now, look at your average power, look at your average cadence, try to get the average power and average cadence as close to 85 and 85 as you can, like it's a target segment in studio. Think about this as a skill development exercise, so you want to be able to control your power output so your power doesn't end up too high, except maybe for you, Miss Piggy. And you want to be able to quickly adjust the gears to get that average to 85 on the RPM. So wow, Mean Gene is at 85%, 84.7 RPM. So we got Mean Gene in the lead on our target segment here. Trophy Wife, you got the power. Just keep working up that cadence. Sting, extremely close. Good work, Sting. Keep bringing that cadence down a bit. Big Nick, you're getting there. So now you're green and green. Just keep bringing the power down a smidge. J-Train, you got to bring your power down a smidge. You guys got 15 seconds to do it. Wilkin, you got to bring your power up just a bit. So you got to go in the red for a couple seconds here. Yeah, there you go. Keep that up. A couple more seconds like that until you bring that average up. So 3, 2, 1, and now let's back it off to 60% active recovery. So gradually pedal slower here. Try not to completely unload the foot. Maybe momentarily for 2-3 seconds is fine, but then after that you want to get pressure underneath your feet again right away. All right, so just taking a look at the numbers. Wow, it was a close one. And the win here actually goes to Big Nick. 80, bang on the 85 RPM, really close on the power output. And then in second place we got Sting, and in third place we got Mean Gene. So way to be, guys. So Mean Gene and Sting, the difference between you guys was 0.1 of an RPM. Wow, so great work Sting, you're at 84.8, and Mean Gene 84.7 on my screen at least. Okay, so now we got 3 minutes at 100% again. This time we're going to start with the simulated downhill. So let's go to 100 RPM. 100 RPM at 100%. And then the last 2 minutes, you can bring that cadence down to a climbing cadence. And on this one, Trophy Wife, target maybe 90% as opposed to 100%. Good. And Wilkin, great start on this one. Already right to that 100%. So while you guys are working the higher cadence here, you can use some of the cadence tricks. Good way to be, JF. Keep that up. Keep up the leg speed. The high cadence tricks like pointing the toe down a little bit can be helpful. Tucking the bum a little bit more. Compacting the upper body. Anything that makes you feel like you have a better control of your body over the bike. Now after this, we have 2 minutes of lower cadence at 100%. Okay, so let's get ready for it. So 3, 2, 1. So let's keep that power output at 100%. A couple gears harder, and now we're looking for a little bit more of a grind. So 80 RPM or less. Anybody that wants to stand up can go ahead and stand up. When you guys are at the lower cadence, some of you may have heard me say this many times before, but it might be worth just repeating again. If you guys are doing it sitting, when you're at lower cadence, there's usually 2 helpful tricks. If you're sitting, you could sit a bit further back on the saddle and think about getting a fuller extension of your leg. That's to more recruit, say, your quad muscles to help you. Maybe a little bit more recruit the muscles up around the hip because you're getting a fuller leg extension. The other option is to stay forward on the saddle like you do when you're at high cadence, but you try to let your weight fall into the pedals to assist with you guys pushing down. So if you have that urge to sit back on the saddle, go for it. Think about pushing forward and down on the pedals. If you want to stay on the front of the saddle, do it. And then think about pushing down and following through on the pedals, mostly with your body weight. And another little trick that you guys can experiment with is transfer of pressure. So right now, a lot of you might have your pressure on the inside part of the foot, kind of towards the big toe, and that's great. That's fine. Try a transfer of pressure to the baby toe. It's called the 5th metatarsal, or the 5th ray of the foot, the outside part of the foot. If you push a little bit more from there, it just changes the loading subtly in your legs, but it'll change the part of the quads or maybe help you recruit a little bit more the upper part of the thigh. So keep it up, Trophy Wife. Keep it up, Sting. Wilkin, way to be. We're almost there, guys. So we got 10 more seconds. And you are going to have another 3-minute drill coming up in a moment where you can practice some of these techniques. All right, guys. So let's go to 60%. So Big Nick, 120% for the entire 3 minutes. Way to be, Big Nick. Might be a sign that it's time to bring the power up a little bit, Big Nick. If you're able to do that, and you don't look awful. You look quite good, actually, Big Nick. So, so that was a great effort, Big Nick. So I think maybe we'll bring the power up a bit, especially if you're using your power meter too, as opposed to using your CompuTrainer. Oftentimes you can handle a higher power output because the reading is much closer to the point where you apply force. So Wilkin, just bring the power up a bit. Trophy Wife, bring the power up a bit to have a little bit of momentum going into what we're doing next. Okay, so now we got a surge to 150%. This time it's for 30 seconds, so 10 seconds longer than before. So get ready, guys and gals. So 3, 2, 1, and let's kick it up. 150%, so overshoot it off the start. Go up into the red for a couple seconds, and now ease it down to 150. That was great job, J-Train. Great acceleration. You can use that acceleration tactic at the end of our workout again. And now just try to hold it in the green the rest of the way. Way to be, Miss Piggy. Great power output. Mean Gene, excellent, really steady. Great work, Trophy Wife. Working that lower cadence to get to the high power. Sting, high cadence to get to the high power. Really glad to see that, Sting. Your high cadence has improved so much over the last couple of weeks. Okay, so let's go down to 60%. So I see some blue on the screen here. That's okay, but now let's quickly try to get it back up into the green. We want to try to maintain an active recovery in between. Wilkin, way to be, very nice. Trophy Wife, very nice. So J-Train just slowly build it back up. Boom, there you go, in the green. Okay, and now we got that simulated target segment. So goal, 85%, 85 RPM again for a minute and 15 seconds. Imagine like it's a target segment. And we'll see who can get closest on the power and on the cadence. And JF and Professor, you know, maybe at this point with a bit more fatigue, maybe it's more like an 8 out of 10 effort at 85% or 7.75 and 85 on the RPM. So let's get ready to go here. So 3, 2, 1, and as close to 85 RPM as you can. Professor, you can anchor your legs to the speed of Miss Piggy's legs. JF, you can go a couple gears harder than that, gear or two harder. Bring that cadence down a bit to get close to that 85. Okay, so we're looking for 85, 85. Everyone's off to a good start. Way to be, Wilkin. And just really focus on that power, that average. So Sting really close. Right now we got Mean Gene in the lead. 85%, 84.5 on the RPM. Keep it up, Mean Gene. So things are looking good. We got another 30 seconds to settle it in. Good work, JF. That looks like about 85 RPM. I'm comparing the speed of your legs to the speed of Mean Gene's leg, whose video is right beside you. Looks very similar. Well, maybe go one gear harder than that, JF. And well done, Miss Piggy and Professor. So 15 seconds to go here, guys. So Big Nick, you just got to bring the cadence down, which you're doing great. Keep bringing it up a bit, J-Train. Mean Gene, you're close. Trophy Wife, you're close. Sting, you got to bring the cadence down. Now, everybody keep pedaling, okay? Keep riding. Ease it down to 60%. Ease it down to 60%. So great work. And on that one, our winner is J-Train. So well done, J-Train. Closest on the power and cadence. And amazing, Big Nick in second place. Boy, you're motivated by the target segments here, Big Nick. And in third place on that one was Mean Gene. So well done, Mean Gene. Trophy Wife really close. Sting really close. Sting, your average cadence was just a smidge too high on that one. And Miss Piggy, I see you're at 120%. Obviously, not enough resistance against your unit. But that's good. I'm glad you put the right level of effort in there, Miss Piggy. So way to be, guys. And now we have our final 3-minute effort at 100%. So we're going to be 2 minutes at 80 RPM and then 1 minute at 100 RPM. So let's give it a shot here. So 3, 2, 1. And here we go. And Sting, did you have a question?
Yeah, I don't know. My gauge is freezing, so I can't really see where I am. Is that...
So hold that thought for just 1 second, Sting. Mean Gene, is your gauge freezing at all?
No.
Okay, so it's probably something on your computer. On your computer, Sting. So maybe there's some background processes that are operating that are slowing down. So we could discuss afterwards some stuff you could do to get better performance out of your Power Watts at Home app. But so just do your best to follow along, Sting. Okay, guys, so we are at 80 RPM or less. Good work, JF. Keep that up. So J-Train, we got the power, we got the cadence. Big Nick working the low cadence. Good strength work, Big Nick. And again at 120%. Really great to see you putting out the big watts, Big Nick. Way to be. So Mean Gene, well done. Just slowly build up that average watts, Mean Gene, in the last 45 seconds here. You're really close. Trophy Wife at 100%. Way to be, Trophy Wife. And Sting, you're doing a great job. You just got to build up your average a tiny bit. Wilkin, you got to build up your average a tiny bit as well. And now keep in mind, after this, it's not rest, okay? It's 1 minute at 100%, but at high cadence. So what I want you guys to really try to do, by changing your body position and changing your focus on how you're applying force to the pedals. Keep it up, J-Train. Keep it up. Try to hold that 100% at 100 RPM, feeling different muscle groups or feeling a different type of effort in your body. So here we go. Last time we're doing 100% here. So 3, 2, 1, 100%, 100 RPM. So quick adjustment of the gears, quick adjustment of the body position, tuck the bum, slide forward, bring the elbows in a little bit, point the toes down, and kick over top of the pedal stroke and or sweep through the bottom of the pedal stroke in addition to pushing down. Wow, so actually this is really good, guys. We got everybody putting out a good effort. Keep it up, Trophy Wife. Just hang on to it. Big Nick really putting out big power. Great work on the cadence, Big Nick. Keep it up, Miss Piggy. Good. Well done, J-Train. You got the power. You got the cadence. Mean Gene, that's looking good. Keep it up, Trophy Wife. 15 seconds. Just pedal faster in that gear for another 15 seconds. Way to be Wilkin. Way to be Sting. And then after this, everyone go 2 gears harder and slowly bring the power down to 60%. So quickly go 2 gears harder, guys. Get a bit of resistance underneath your feet. And slowly bring that power down to 60%. Good, good, good. And bring it back up, J-Train. Bring it back up, Trophy Wife. Wilkin, you're in the green. That's good. Mean Gene and Sting really well executed. Big Nick and Miss Piggy both a little bit over the target. So good stuff, guys. And now we have our final surge of this exercise. So it's going to bring us to the end of this long drill with the active recoveries. So this time, it's 40 seconds at 150%. Think of it like an aggressive rider segment here, where you start with a quick acceleration well over 150%, and then slowly ease your watts down over the course of the 40 seconds. So get ready, guys and gals. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, and snap down into those pedals. And go up into the red. Great starts. Ken, as you start to feel the difficulty, keep it up, JF. As you start to feel the difficulty, ease those watts down a little bit closer towards that 150%. Way to be Wilkin. Keep that foot pressure. Keep that continuous foot pressure. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Way to be Sting. Keep it up, Trophy Wife. You're almost there. 10 seconds. Pedal faster than the gear you're in. Pedal faster than the gear you're in. Mean Gene, great power. Sting, great power. Big Nick, unbelievable effort here. And let's back it off, guys. Wow. Okay, so now it's complete recovery. Stop pedaling. Pedal gently if you want. JF, big effort there. Way to be. Professor, well executed. So super job, guys. So Big Nick continues to be on fire here today. 202%. So if that was an aggressive rider segment, Big Nick, you would have got the win on that one. So way to be. And we won't count Miss Piggy because we know you're not properly calibrated. So that would put Mean Gene in second at 161% and Sting in third at 160%. So Mean Gene and Sting, way to be, guys. Both of you are really close to one another on the power outputs and on the cadences throughout the workout. So great teamwork there. So we got Trophy Wife at 155. We got Wilkin at 150 and J-Train at 148. So everybody's in the green. And Miss Piggy, you are well above the target too, 178%. So great stuff, guys. So great exercise. So Miss Piggy and Professor, how did you find that that last drill we just did overall?
So it was okay, but like I said all the time, the fact I don't have any power meter, I try to figure out the maximum where I should be for different things, but I feel it hard.
And I noticed that you're interested in getting a power meter, Professor, so I'll be able to give you some recommendations.
Yeah, so you think it's worth it?
Yeah, it's a great training tool, you know, especially riding outside with one. It's really interesting because we do it at Power Watts. So you get a really good feel for it at Power Watts, but sometimes it's not always obvious your power when you're riding outside. So I can give you some suggestions on that one.
Okay,
Miss Piggy, how do you find that drill?
Good. Thanks for the tips, Mark. I think 20 to 25% higher. It's good.
It's good? All right. Yeah. And Trophy Wife, how did you find that drill? Probably not your favorite.
Oh, I don't know.
Perhaps a slightly too big of an increase in power, but you did a really great effort nonetheless, Trophy Wife. You hit most of those high powers. Just the active recoveries, I think, kind of put you over the edge. So way to be, Trophy Wife. Okay, guys, so we got our last drill. We're already there. J-Train, this is your chance now, J-Train. So we got 6 times 15 seconds again. The goal is on each subsequent rep to go 5 to 10% higher than the previous rep. We suggest you start around 125%. Start as high as you want, but aim to increase the power in each subsequent rep and bring your power way down in between the reps, which is going to make the acceleration more difficult. Okay? So let's go. First rep, 15 seconds, 125% or more. So 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Think back to your first time through this exercise. If you found it pretty comfortable, well, start higher than 125%. If you had a hard time at the beginning, you'll have a hard time now, so kind of follow more along the power targets. Good, so way to be, guys. Good numbers on that one. Make sure that the accelerations are quick, okay? And start your acceleration maybe 2 seconds early. Okay, so accelerate now and kick it up. Good, way to be, JF. Good work, Mean Gene. Little more, Mean Gene. Little more power. Yeah, there we go. So great work, guys. So everyone had a nice little increase there. Good. And now, get ready for the next one. Don't really back off the power. Big Nick, I want you to back off the power more just to make the acceleration a little bit more challenging. Okay, and now accelerate it up. Quick shots, quick accelerations. Let's go, guys. Good, way to be, Trophy Wife. Pedal a bit faster in that gear. Stay in that gear and just work the cadence. Yeah, there we go. Way to be, Miss Piggy and Professor Wilkin. Great effort there. So you went up again. Wilkin, you went up by 3%. So that's what we're looking for here. So Sting went up by 5%. Trophy Wife went up by 30%. Okay, get ready for the next one, guys. 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Accelerate it up. So J-Train, yeah, you're going to have to stand all the way on all the rest of them. I'm glad you started sitting, but now you're going to need the standing to get it done. And now pedal faster in that gear, J-Train. Piston the legs. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Way to be, J-Train. 143%, so big increase on power. Big Nick over 200. Miss Piggy, you went down a bit on power for some reason on that one. Just accelerate a bit earlier, I think. And everyone else went up. Okay, so kick it up, guys. Kick it up. Go, go, go. Trophy Wife, you're going to have to accelerate more rapidly. So Trophy Wife, just be careful. You're slowing down a little bit too much during the 15-second recoveries. So keep a little bit more steam. Way to be, Wilkin. Keep that power. Go, 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 go. Yes, sir. You went up by 1%, Wilkin. Fantastic. From 153 to 154. Okay, guys. Last rep of the day. Get a bit more momentum, Trophy Wife. Okay, so now really give it. Everything you got for 15 seconds. So 3, 2, 1. Snap it down. Go. Go, go, go. And everyone pedal faster in the gear you're in. Wow, Mean Gene with an acceleration. Way to be, Trophy Wife. Keep it up, Sting. Let's go, Wilkin. Way to be, JF and Professor. All right, guys, and that is it. Well done, guys. So let's back it off on that one. Wow, some fantastic efforts. Unbelievable power outputs here. So good stuff, guys. And I don't know if I got a power drop potentially from you, Big Nick, or maybe you were just in too hard of a gear. How was that last one, Big Nick?
I came out of my pedals.
Oh, you came out of your pedals. Okay, that explains it, because I see the cadence is way down, so I thought maybe the gear was wrong. But yeah, if you came out of the pedals, for sure. You'll have to get a pair of those pedals like 2HP has to strap you in. The track pedals. Okay, so I just wanted to double check that. So way to be, guys. So the highest power output on that last one was Mean Gene, 203%. Congratulations, Mean Gene. Very nice. And second highest power, Sting at 201%. And Sting, you didn't fall off the bike today. You should get a couple bonus. I'll give you 2 bonus % for staying on the bike, and we'll say that you and Mean Gene tied for the win on that one. And in third place, Wilkin. So way to be, Wilkin, 197% on that last one. So fantastic effort. Trophy Wife, that was your highest one of the 6 on that last one, so that was great. Miss Piggy as well, you did your highest one. And J-Train, your highest one of the day, 161%, so definitely higher powers than you managed to pull off at the beginning of the workout. So great stuff, guys. And Professor and JF, great efforts on those accelerations. JF, how'd you find those final 15-second surges?
I love when you give us breaks.
Like 15 seconds? Is that enough?
No pedaling, nothing.
That.
The workout went by really fast today.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. This is definitely like kind of that stage race style workout where just things come at you, all different types of things. So it kind of helps the time go by faster and have fun with while you guys are training hard.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. So Big Nick just went for an acceleration. I saw 1,201 watts as your highest power output, Big Nick. So well done. So I'm going to be sticking around on Zoom. I have a couple questions maybe for you guys about how you found the workout. But I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank everybody on Facebook for watching. So we're actually not going to be airing our workouts on Facebook Live anymore. You guys will be able to participate using the app. You guys will be able to use the app, or you'll be able to join through Zoom. And even if you don't have a smart trainer, you could still connect to the app to be able just to follow along the structure of the training, even if you don't see any numbers in the dial. So for everybody on Facebook, thanks so much for participating over these last few weeks in our Facebook Live workouts. And if you want to continue doing these workouts, all you got to do is log into My Report, click on the bicycle icon, and that's going to take you to our home workout program. And in the home workout program, you'll see a drop-down list of all the workouts. The workouts, if you choose a workout starting next week, starting on Monday, you'll have all the instructions on how to access that workout via the app. And since a lot of PowerWatt centers are open right now, the workouts that we're going to be doing at home are going to be very similar to the workouts that are doing in studio. So if you go to the studio on one day and then you train at home using the app the other day, the training will complement itself. And we're going to keep offering this service for a time being until we really get all of our centers up and running. And then we'll give you guys more information on how we're going to proceed with the PowerWatts at Home program in the future. Okay, so again, just log into My Report, click on the bicycle icon. As of Monday, you'll see workouts 35A and 35B. Those are going to be the at-home workouts, and you can participate via Zoom or via the PowerWatts at Home app. So thanks again to everybody on Facebook. Have a great weekend, and looking forward to seeing you on Zoom or on the app.
Thank you.